So let's look at a potential real-world example as far as your retirement account. And let's say you have $100,000 and you're putting it away with a mutual fund manager for 30 years. Now, the 50-year average return on the S&P 500 is 6.24%. So let's say your mutual fund manager guy just matched the S&P 500, and over the next 30 years, all you did was do exactly what the market has done on average over the last 50, which is 6.24% return. Well, 30 years from now, that $100,000 compounded annually at 6.24% would leave you with about $615,000. Hey, that sounds pretty good, right? And that's usually the numbers these guys show you when you go in and get their spiel. It's like, hey, put away this money, we're going to get you this return, and because of compound interest, that 100 grand is going to be almost 615 grand in 30 years. But let's go to the Investopedia website and you'll see what people charge on average for these things. And you can see it's kind of a range. It says they range from as low as 0.2% to as high as 2%. The average mutual fund charges 1.3 to 1.5, but there's also specialty or international funds, more expertise, blah, blah, blah. In general, if you take all the funds out there and kind of lump it together, it's safe to assume, we can just say the average of all mutual funds is about a 2% fee is what they're charging you to manage the money. So, doesn't sound like much, right? If they charge me 2%, what does it actually do to my returns over time? Well, this is the scary part. So if you just match the S&P 500 over 30 years, right, at 6.24%, you end up with $615,000. But let's say they match the S&P 500, which 95% of them don't even do, and now we're subtracting out 2% in fees on average. So your return, right, goes from 6.24% down to 4.24 over those 30 years. What does that do to that $100,000? This should scare the heck out of you. That's $615,000 that you would have made if you just bought and held the S&P 500. When you gave your money to a professional and they just kind of matched the returns, when you take out their 2% fees over 30 years, you only end up with less than $350,000. They've almost cut your retirement account in half, right? That's close to $300,000 in fees. Doesn't sound like much when they pitch it to you. Oh, it's only 2%. Oh yeah? Well, look what 2% does to your money over 30 years. It almost cuts it in half. That should scare the daylights out of you. With that in mind, that's why you're taking this course, and we're going to teach you how to do much better than that. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but we'll definitely teach you to outperform these mutual fund managers. That's for sure. So what is our goal with this course? Well, having seen what those numbers do to you over time, it's obviously to teach you to manage some of your own money so you can save on those fees first and foremost. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by learning to teach you to lower your cost basis every time you buy stock, which will increase your chance of making money, which you will learn coming up. How do we do that? We do that with something called a covered call, which is a stock option strategy.